steps we can take to improve our overall financial wellness. With support from local experts like those at the National Bank of Indianapolis, you can learn to pay down debts and build savings. The National Bank of Indianapolis provides educational classes around the city that teach about creating a budget, understanding debt, managing credit, and of course, savings. You can learn how to examine your expenses and set financial goals. Learn about the sources of your debt and how you can take steps to reduce it. How to become aware of your credit score, what weakens it, and how to improve it, and simple ways to build savings over time to help you feel secure in case of an emergency. The National Bank of Indianapolis has an experienced team who can help you on the road to financial wellness. Learn more at nbofi.com. Member FDIC. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to shine in Teal at the 6th annual All Cancer Matters Ball, a night of hope, honor, and celebration. Join us on Saturday, October 18th at the Grand Ballroom located at 5060 East 62nd Street. Doors open at 4:15 p.m. Guests will walk the red carpet, enjoy an elegant dinner, live music, and inspiring keynote address, an award ceremony, and a special memorial candle lighting vigil honoring loved ones. This year, we're going all out in Teal to raise awareness for ovarian cancer. Tickets available now at YourWorthFightingFor.org, with general admission $45 and VIP $65. Tickets will also be sold at the door. For more information or to purchase tickets by phone, please call 765-274-0291. That's 765-274-0291. Don't miss the 6th annual Cancer Ball, Saturday, October 15th at 5060 East 62nd Street. You're worth fighting for, because every life is worth the fight.
October is Clergy Appreciation Month, and Praise Indy, together with Real Alternatives, proudly honor the spiritual leaders who uplift our community every day. To every pastor and clergy member in Indianapolis, thank you for your tireless service, your words of hope, and your faithful guidance through life's challenges. Your dedication strengthens families, inspires future generations, and anchors our city in love and faith. This month and always, we celebrate and appreciate you.
WTOC AM, W236CR Indianapolis, the home for Indy's favorite gospel music, ministries, community discussions, and more. We are Praise AM 1310, 95.1 FM, Indy's inspiration station.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Unity in the Community. Behold how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Psalm 133, verse 1. Good to have you with me on this afternoon. It's a beautiful afternoon here in the capital city. Hopefully you're out or inside enjoying it in some way. It's the last 80-degree temperature that we'll probably see for a few days. Temperatures will be dropping. And looks like the forecast is for 60s high next week and perhaps the week after, but we'll see. So enjoy it. Sip it like a wonderful glass of tea, or cup of tea, I should say, and enjoy it. It's a beautiful day. 317-480-1310, 317-480-1310. Again, it's 317-480-1310. We are broadcasting AM 1310 and 95.1 FM. Again, that's AM 1310 and 95.1 on your dial, both AM and FM now. And I'm also streaming on my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, James William Jackson. My Facebook page, for all those of you who listen to me Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m., Facebook has disabled my page. That happened on this past Friday. I'm in what they call Facebook jail. And don't know how long that's going to be, but my page is disabled for now. I think some of my viewers, they were using the tag and share feature too quickly. So the bots, B-O-T-S, look at that and interpret that as a possible spam or harassment of people. And so it is possible for your account to, during a live broadcast, or anytime really, but especially during a live broadcast, to be disabled. And so mine was disabled. Hopefully, I will be re-enabled and back on doing what I have been doing for our community and across the nation in different parts of the world. First Hour Prayer has blessed so many people, pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID. And we have never been off. We have never not been on. In 17 years, we've been doing that. 17 years on Facebook Live. But I don't own the platform. Mark Zuckerberg does. And so he and his team, they are in charge of all of that. And the way they have designed it now, people are not making those decisions. It's automated. And so they don't have any feeling toward me personally if my page is violating what they call their community standards, or your page. And I've talked to many people, and people have said to me they've been in Facebook jail, and some for a few days and some for a few weeks. So I don't know how long that's going to last. Nevertheless, on Monday, First Hour Prayer will be on TikTok. We'll be on TikTok Monday at 6:30 a.m. I've been wanting to go to TikTok at a different time, but now I'm kind of forced into it. And I like TikTok's platform. I like how they do things over there. So we're going to be over there for a while until Facebook comes back, because I had almost 10,000 people following me on my Facebook page. But everything changes. And that's one thing I've told my daughters and grandsons and other people I care about to understand: everything changes except for God. He never changes. But other than that, everything changes. You don't want to fall in love with anything or get so stuck on it that when it changes, you fall apart, because everything does change. Seasons change. We're in the change of the seasons now. I do 3 to 6 mile walks each day. My goal this year was 6 miles a day. I didn't know, but I had my Apple Watch on, and now they've got the coaching feature. And I'm closing in on 700 miles shaved for the year. So now I want to do 1,000. And I almost got about 25, 30 miles in this week. My legs, my hamstrings are feeling it though. But walking is good for you. You are your best healthcare provider. Take care of yourself. So 3 to 6 miles. I don't do less than 3. I get 3 if I just walk in less than an hour. If I walk jog, I can get it done in about 40 minutes. Take care of yourself. Nobody's going to do it better than you. Get serious about your health before the doctors do. On my way in, I looked over in, I think, Methodist. I'm not sure if they're still called Methodist, but they're building it's over $2 billion project over there, massive buildings. And they are preparing for more people to take care of. Can't blame them. But you don't want to be one of them unless you're in an accident or something like that, something beyond your control. But as far as disease, things that you can control, like what you eat and taking care of yourself, you don't want to end up in the hospital because of issues that you could have prevented. But anyway, Monday, 6:30 a.m., First Hour Prayer. Tell somebody, because there's people wondering what happened to me. You know, I would post prayers every morning. I've been posting prayers. I just prayed for you prayers for probably about 15 years without interruption. So that's not happening. That's all about computers and artificial intelligence. So anyway, if you want to be a part of the prayer, we're going to be on TikTok Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. That will be the new home for now until we're back in Facebook. Of course, I've tried to get back on, tried to reach out, tried to send messages and follow their information, but it's just circular, and they take me back to something that doesn't work, and it's pretty interesting anyway. So, and it may never come back. I read something on there where it might be permanently disabled. I'm praying for people. It might be permanently disabled, but I know how to do things and switch up and all of that. So you have to pivot. So we'll be on TikTok and possibly Instagram. That's still working, but we'll still be online praying, maybe reaching a new audience. Maybe that's God's will. We'll see. Also, on my way in, I saw some protesters. I'm usually able to park right out in front of the studio down here in Indianapolis, but there's folks over at the State House. They are protesting. Hundreds of people are over there. I saw a sign that said, "No king in America except Pizza King." So I deduced that they're over there protesting President Donald Trump. And I saw another sign that had the word immigration on it. So all of that together, people are upset about that. And they're in protest down here, downtown Indianapolis. So if you're on the west side of the circle, lots of traffic. It's congested over there, lots of people. The east side of the circle is pretty much normal for a day like today. But there's a lot going on in America. The immigration issue, and something I want to talk about today is the deployment of federal troops in cities that have high murder rates. So we'll be talking about that here in just a few moments. 317-480-1310, 317-480-1310. But I want to preface that with what you are probably seeing, and that is the city of Indianapolis is now transitioning the waste service from Republic to LRS. Now, your new trash can, if you will, or trash bin is going to say DPW, Department of Public Works, on the side of it. And some people think that Indianapolis is going to be coming around picking up your trash. I don't know why they put DPW on the side and not LRS. Lakeside or Lakeshore Recycling Service is taking over. The city's going to save just over $7 million on this deal. In the research that I've done, it's preliminary research. Goldman Sachs is invested in LRS. Township Assessor Township Assessor Vernon Brown, when he put me on the Board of Public Safety many years ago, before I went to the Police Merit Board, said, follow the money. That's what he was a counselor then, Counselor Vernon Brown. He said, I want to get you on this board here, follow the money, and do a good job. So I was on that board for about a year and then ended up on the Police Merit Board. But the experience of the year that I was on there was very interesting, and to see where the money goes. So beyond just getting a new trash can, understand that there's a new company that's going to be picking up the trash, and we'll probably see these trucks with the LRS on the side and not DPW, at least as I understand it. And LRS has been around since the early 2000s. So Republic is losing a lot of money. They didn't get the contract. Somebody else got it. And LRS is not black owned. I wonder if there is a black owned recycling service or trash service that could have got this contract, that's operating with excellence. That's what black leaders ought to be asking. Is there a black owned service, recycling trash service, that could have competed for this contract? So in a nutshell, Republic is out, LRS is in, and you'll be putting your trash in a trash receptacle with a DPW on the side. Still wondering why they did that. That's interesting. Anyway, 317-480-1310, beginning January 1st, the transition will be in full effect. But starting the week of October 6th, so that has already started through the end of this year, your old cart will be collected after your new cart arrives based on your district's schedule. And there's this little thing they put on the trash bin. Read it so you can make sure you're ready. We don't want your trash sitting around in the old receptacle. So what they want you to do, step one, is to begin using your new Indy DPW card immediately for all household waste. Step two, stop using your old cart once your new cart arrives. I got mine. So I got a couple of bags of trash in the old Blue Republic cart or receptacle, so I got to transfer that over. And place your empty old cart at the curb on your regular service day and leave it until collected. Allow up to 3 weeks. So you put the old blue one out there next to the gray one with DPW. And when you collect your DPW after it's empty, then leave the other one out there empty. Don't leave trash in it. That could be a problem. And eventually it'll be picked up. So that's what's going on with the trash, y'all. Lakeshore Recycling Services is your new service provider in collaboration with DPW starting January 1, 2026, which is right down the road, coming up really, really fast. But one of the things that I've been doing over the years is asking, and not in a contentious tone, but was there or is there a Black-owned recycling service or trash service that competed for or could have competed for this contract? It's a pretty lucrative contract, I'm sure, because LRS would not have negotiated for it if it was not going to be good return on investment. And that's the person, I say, that makes all the decisions in our city and cities across America. Person named Roy. Roy makes a decision. Return on investment. That's who Roy is. And so there will be a return on this investment. They say it's going to be saving a little over $7 million, the city. That's good if it saves that much money. And if it does save over $7 million, Black leaders should be saying, well, where's that money going to go? 7 point some million dollars. Can that go to enhance Black life in Marion County? Some of that, 2 million, maybe, something like that, to help enhance Black life in Marion County. Can that savings be used for that? I don't know, because there are statutory laws and ordinances in place sometime that will preclude savings like that from being used for things that we think they ought to be used for. So I'm just asking the question, and we should be asking those questions when we see things like this happening. Yeah, you're going to put your new trash cart out there to make sure your trash is moving. But where Black life is concerned, we want to make sure that we're asking, well, why did they do that? What was the reason? What's the why behind the what? Save money. All right, that's a good reason. But if there's going to be a savings, then what's going to be done with it? Where's the savings going to go? And you should have something to say about that. Money's big, y'all. When you drive downtown Indianapolis, the tall buildings, they don't have Jesus on the side of the building, top of the building. You'll see Salesforce. You'll see One America Bank. You'll see Regions Bank, Fifth Third Bank. You'll see other names of financial services like that. You're not going to see Salvation. You're not going to see Holy Ghost. You're not going to see that on top of these buildings. When you see the tall buildings, you see JW Marriott. That's money. There's a new hotel going up too. It'll be just a little bit taller probably than the JW Marriott. Indianapolis is growing. And when I parked near the city county building, I saw a new facility going up for the Indiana Fever. I think that's the women's basketball game. Is it? I haven't been to one. I probably should go. If there's a building being built for them, that means they're doing a really good job. That's wonderful. But the question that black leaders should be asking, how many contracts went to women-owned, black-owned, minority-owned businesses to build it? When you see the cranes in the air, that means the money's flowing, y'all. Billions of dollars, multiple projects happening at the same time. Indianapolis is on fire economically, booming. So that should mean that we should produce some black millionaires over the next 5 to 10 years. 317-480-1310, 317-480-1310. This boom, this economic boom should produce some black millionaires. When you see the cranes in the air, the money's flowing. That's concrete, that's steel, that's HVAC, that's electrical, that's plumbing, that's lighting, that's fixtures, that's finishes, all of that. And the question is, are there black-owned HVAC companies? Are there black-owned electrical plumbing? Are there black-owned finishers, drywallers? Are there black-owned people that could get these contracts? The boom, which is in excess of $5 billion, you might remember that. A few months ago, that was in the news media. Indianapolis would see a more than $5 billion economic boom over the next few years. Indianapolis is said to be one of the best cities to visit in the United States of America. I concur, despite all of her problems. It's a good city. 14th largest landmass in the United States of America, 400 square miles. Indianapolis is, Marion County. So you're going to see a lot of stuff happening. Even Google wants to be here. And I was talking with someone day before yesterday. Councilman Ron Gibson, unlike Councilman Paul Hart, is saying yes to Google. Councilman Paul Hart's constituency said they didn't want it. Councilman, the other side of that, Councilman Ron Gibson is saying, yes, we'll take it. I don't know what his constituents are saying, though. 317-480-1310, 317-480-1310. Out front, it looks like, there's going to be a lot of jobs. And I did a little research, but there's a lot more that comes with having a data center. It consumes an extraordinary amount of power. There is the potential for increased rates. The power that is consumed by a data center is enormous. So I want to hear what you have to say about some of these things. And in the second half of the show, we'll talk about the federal forces that are being deployed to U.S. cities to deal with crime. We've got to take a quick break. We'll be back after these messages.
Alexa, play Praise Indy. Yes, it's that easy. Discover the power of praise. AM 1310, 95.1 FM. On your Alexa-enabled smart speaker, just say, Alexa, play Praise Indy. And you're instantly connected to the best in gospel music. Let the soulful sounds uplift your spirit, energize your day, and fill your home with joy. But that's not all. Stay tuned for meaningful community discussions and inspiring messages that enlighten and empower. Whether you're cooking dinner, working from home, or simply relaxing, Praise AM 1310, 95.1 FM is your go-to source for music that moves you and words that inspire. Remember, just say, Alexa, play Praise Indy. and feel the music and inspiration of Praise AM 1310, 95.1 FM, Indy's Inspiration Station.
Save big on all outdoor storage at Menards. Suncast sheds have the storage space you need for any backyard. Whether you're protecting bikes and toys or storing yard tools, Suncast storage sheds will save you time with easy assembly and low maintenance construction. Pick up an in-stock Suncast storage shed today and check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all our great deals happening now. Save big money at Menards.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call now at 800-305-1778 for a free consultation. For 17 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and a Christian-owned company. Don't get stuck in the endless cycle of payments. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Christian-owned Total Financial Freedom now at 800-305-1778. 800-305-1778. That's 800-305-1778. 800-305-1778.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SMALL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SMALL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SMALL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code SMALL.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
True Crime Mondays on TV1. It's Fatal Attraction with all new drama,
He never saw this coming.
compelling new stories.
The storage unit was filled with cocaine.
The situations that she put us in, just wicked.
The new episodes of Fatal Attraction will leave you speechless. Fatal Attraction, every Monday night at 9 on TV1.
All right, who will be the next black millionaires, multimillionaires in Indianapolis over the next several years? More than a $5 billion economic boom in this city, capital city. Indianapolis is the economic engine for the state of Indiana. It's an important city, not just in Indiana, but in the American Midwest region. We're the third largest city in the American Midwest region behind Columbus, Ohio, who knocked us off of number 2 behind Chicago. But still, we are a very important city, crossroads of America, very important city. So 317-480-1310, 317-480-1310, the things I've been talking about. I'm going to go to Larry. Larry, welcome to the program.
Yeah, Pastor Jackson.
Hey.
You know, black people got a problem. They don't understand how Western civilization operates. What we've done during the 80s and 90s and the first part of the 2000s, we spent all the black community's legacy money, building these big giant churches, right, all over town. Those are frozen assets. No bank is going to give you any money on them because they're diminishing in returns based on uncertainty. So, you say we don't have any companies that can lift cranes in there. Well, we don't have it because we have too many wraparound services that are stigmatizing our men, if not with a felony, but they're stigmatizing them that they need dope. That's what the big thing is now. Black people had better wake up because they have squandered all their legacy money. And you talk about trash, back in the 50s and 60s, that's all that picked up trash was black men. That was getting ready to evolve into national businesses. It was destroyed. We have to look at the truth, Pastor Jackson.
Larry, pause there for a second. That's interesting because, to your point about black men being, you saw black men, just about 100% black men on the back of the trash trucks, and then of course sometime in the cab driving the truck. And what we're seeing today with a lot of Hispanics is now they have their own lawn services and they have their own businesses.
I'm not saying that, Pastor Jackson. I'm saying back in the 50s and 60s, they owned the trash businesses. They were picking up the trash here in Indianapolis.
Black, you said it was a black-owned business.
They were owned. And you know why I say this is? Because in 1962 and 1963, my father had a large janitorial service here in town, right? All the Union Federal, Morris Plans, Associate Loans, Wall Supermarkets, and other businesses. He had contracts cleaning all these businesses, plus a landscaping business. But I used to go with them to deliver invoices and pick up checks, right?
Uh-huh.
But I can remember when the attitude changed when Martin Luther King started his marching and stuff and destroyed our business. If we don't realize that and repent, then we're doomed. I mean, all these churches that were built, all the contractors were white. They got all the legacy money. They get the legacy money.
Not mine, Larry. You said all.
90% of them. They got all the legacy money. They're getting all the maintenance money for the air conditioning. The utilities are draining the congregation. So, it's our own fault because we'll always be slaves because a slave never wants to look at the truth. Look who we elevate. People are arguing around Jasmine Crockett now. She is something wrong with her, and you know that, Pastor Jackson. Anybody that looks at her and look at Ketanji Brown, she said that black people are mentally retarded and disabled. She said that right in the Supreme Court. These women are hooked on crack. That's
all right, Larry. We got to move on, Larry.
On down. Kamala Harris.
No,
the one girl
Larry, it's got to move on.
And,
we can't say that. They're not crack addicts, Larry. But thank you for your call and comment. I cannot confirm your statement that waste services, trash services were owned and operated by black people back in the 50s. There were barriers back then that would preclude that. I might, so I wasn't able to find any, Larry, but I'll check it out. There might have been one or two, but not overall. Donna, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hi.
I just want to say thank you for all the information and how very informative you are and letting us know about what's going on. And I'm pretty bad player to go to a regular library where they actually have the truth. Because every time he comes on, he's never telling the truth. He just can't deal with honesty. Thank you, Pastor Jackson, for everything that you do and that you do for the community. I really appreciate it. That's what I really want to do.
Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. I'm encouraged.
Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. So there's no credible evidence, unless Larry can produce it. You can email it to me, pastorjamesjackson@gmail.com, confirming significant number of black-owned hauling services back in the 50s, because many city contracts for waste collection often required licensing, bonding, firm size, and municipal cooperation. So there were barriers that would block something like that from happening. There might have been some small ones, but not anything of significant size. Anyway, as I said, how many black millionaires are going to come out of this economic boom over the next few years? More than $5 billion over the next few years. When the cranes are in the air, money is moving. The Indiana Fever, they're getting a new place right down there where the jail used to be. And they deserve that. I have no problem with that. And Methodist Hospital's building. And you see all these different things happening around town. New apartments and condominiums are going up. Anything there's a city contract, though, I think that there should be some black millionaires that we should be able to bring on and sit right here. Say, well, how's it going? And talk about how they got a city contract to change their lives. 317-480-1310. I'm going to try to get everybody that's calling in. Lori, welcome to the program. Thanks for holding.
Hi, Pastor Jackson. I really appreciate everything you do. On a positive note, I think that it's due to lack of knowledge. We don't have a lot of trainings on getting contracts. People don't have a lot of trainings on businesses, investments, and things like this. And I think that the churches need to collaborate to start doing more with the Black community. And then by us being such large consumers, we need to start supporting businesses that put back in our community, such as having a chicken place on Post Road, and they go back and live in their neighborhood, but Post Road still looks the same. I think we as consumers need to be more conscientious of who we're doing business with, and if they're going to give money, put money back in the communities to help resources in the community or outreach programs in the community. If they don't do that, we shouldn't patronize them. But I think the most important thing is that we need to bring people that are the top in the game to help other businesses and things so we can get these contracts. I don't think, like Larry was saying, that we're doomed. On a positive note, we just need the direction to be able to accomplish these things. And by us getting the money and the resources, then we as African Americans can give back to HBCUs and do these things and put back and build the kingdom and all of these things. But I just believe that you lack the knowledge. That's where we're at right now. But thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, Lori. I'm encouraged. Thank you for your call and comment. 317-480-1310, 317-480-1310. Contracts, vendor contracts. That's what attorney Nathaniel Lee told us over on High School Road, 4141 High School Road at Olivet Church a few years ago, several years ago, talking about vendor contracts. And I agree with Lori. We do need to have classes and seminars on how to get them. And we need financial services to say, all right, Shay's got a, and this is all hypothetical, y'all. Shay's got a plumbing company. So we're going to extend her a $2 million line of credit so she can make payroll, incidentals, because that's a lot of time what precludes Black business owners from being able to thrive, because city and state and federal contracts don't always pay every 30 days. And so you have to have capacity to sustain your staff and what you're trying to do. So we need to advocate for that, to extend, let's say, the Shea Plumbing and Services building services, $2 million line of credit. That way she could pay all of her bills, suppliers, and make payroll until the checks roll in. And then you keep that going, and you keep that going, and you keep that going. And through integrity, follow up and follow through, Shea becomes a millionaire, and she's able to donate to Clean for Green and other youth jobs programs, giving back. That's how you do that, y'all. It's really more simple than people like to make it be. If you follow the story about Jeffrey Epstein, he didn't even have a college degree and got hired to be a professor at college until they found out. And then he got hired by a big time financial firm. They didn't know about him. They didn't ask many questions, didn't check him out. And then they found out about him and they couldn't believe that he was a fraud. Then he started another company, it appears. And that company boomed. And he had an island, jets, It's called sex trafficking. That's what he was accused of. And he thrived in that business. Let me stop there. Let's go to Karen. Karen, thank you for holding. Welcome to the program.
Yes, how you guys doing? What I don't understand is we took people off their job, lock them up. What happened to their homes, their business and stuff like that? Then if the state don't get the taxes, the state loses money. So I don't understand how you saying they take the child care, they want to take Medicaid. But what are they restarting the community over with lower paying jobs to where you can't even make your money pay rent? Even if the big buildings do come up, what are the hourly wages going to be? Because they firing people every day off jobs, having 15 years on a job, having this. And then you got Social Security. They don't want to pay you. So what are they restarting the system back over so we can never retire again?
You're asking me that question. Are they starting the system over? So what?
So you're going to be working for the rest of your life. There's no more Social Security. They wasn't supposed to deal with Social Security until 2033. Right now, they're hitting Social Security. And so they restarting the community over for lower pay raise, like they did in other states and cities. You work, truly, but you can't afford no rent. You work, but you can't afford no food. You see what I mean? So if you work to not be able to afford these things, then you're going to be working for the rest of your life because there's no money for you. But you study getting them rich.
I don't know. Social Security has not ended.
I mean, that was one part. I'm saying if you're going to take child care away, mothers can't work, losing their jobs. You're going to take health system away to where you can't get it. I'm just saying it's all in the same pot.
Yeah.
How can you take away and then reproduce at the same time?
Well, they've cut back on a lot of these things. The child care vouchers, they've cut that back drastically. There are people, including myself, who are working on that. We have provided child care services for almost 30 years. And so we're trying to find a way to keep going. And some are shutting down. We're going to bring some of those owner-operators on to talk about their experience. So yeah, I mean, what they're saying is we're going to have to figure it out. And that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to bind together. And that's why this show is called Unity in the Community. And we'll pool our resources together and make it happen.
Okay, so you're taking away. I don't understand how you got to even take away to come back. If you're coming back at lower wages, lower this, even child care. A mother's going to have to pay $300 just say for her child to go in, and the state may pay $200.
Yeah, so that the issue is the mindset of the administration, the current president, depending on what state you live in. Where conservatives have, Republicans have a more conservative view, cutting government and things like that. Although in Indiana, Governor Holcomb, he actually invested into DEI. In fact, I was one of the first people to go through the inaugural diversity program and met a lot of black folks during that time. He actually had a woman. I don't recall her name, but she was over diversity. So the state had invested a lot into diversity, but the present administration decided not to do that. And so they're going a different direction. So my point is, Karen, it depends on who's in office, whether it's Indianapolis, the mayor's office, or the state capitol, or Washington, D.C., which is another reason why we all have to, and I'm not saying that you don't, but we all have to make sure that people are registered to vote, because there's very little we can control now except for protests. But on election day, we all can control it because we can cast our vote. Thank you.
So they say, but if he butch up the American United States so bad, it's going to take a long time to come back up.
For some. Yeah, you're right. We got to move on, though, Karen. Thank you for your call and comment. Got to go to Soldier. Soldier, welcome to the program. Enjoy what Karen say.
Praise the Lord. How you doing?
Good. Soldier, what's your real name?
That is it.
Soldier?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And everything.
Really? Well, that is really extraordinary.
And that's a whole
segment.
All right, sir. Thanks for calling.
Okay. I'm visiting, and so I ask a lot of questions when I'm in town to talk to people, and I said, "Are you familiar with the No Kings? What is that?" And then I talked to them about the history and about our ancestors protesting, and I hear like, as long as you got God and money, you ain't got to worry about it, And I said, well, I haven't heard. I know back then they didn't have money, they had God, and they protested, and that's where we're at now. So I'm just with all this DEI and everything else, we need to make sure, and I'm trying, that we emphasize history, learning history. And also the 2025, educating our people. If you don't know anything about the No Kings and you live in Indianapolis, okay, I agree you don't pull up the news. But sometimes you need to pull up the radio station. I come in town and I leave my radio on you.
Thank you.
And I go to the library and I pull up, I look at the recorder and all the stuff that's local, and even the Indianapolis Journal, so I can see what's happening in Indianapolis. But if we don't do that and tell our family members about it when we come, because I'm disappointed in them. I ask just immediate family, they don't know. So I'm different, and I think we have to be different if we're gonna make a change. And I agree with, I think everything, I'm proud of Indianapolis. When I come in Indianapolis, I see changes happening. I just want to see what you're talking about happen as well.
Well, thank you, Soldier. And thank you for being here in Indianapolis. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
I'll be back.
All right, sir. All right, going to Tom Brown. Welcome to the program.
Yo, how you doing, Pastor Jackson?
This is the Tom Brown.
I didn't want you to go there.
I got to go there. You're an icon.
Well, whatever you want to say. I've been down looking at the King thing downtown. But no, when you started talking about the trash can stuff, do it again next week.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, because I have two of them. I'm looking at them right now, and knowing the process, and then also Harambe, we're going to have to say something about that. And your show was interesting, but I'm in the car, or I'm talking to some people, and I really want to tell them, shut up, I got to hear the rest of this. But a good show, good information, and you got some tough challenges, especially when we have to deal with Larry. But he did indicate something back in the 40s when my dad brought me and my mama here to Indianapolis. We did have trash pickups by blacks in the 40s and the 50s. Now, whether they owned those enterprises as contracted, I know all of the people we were seeing, they definitely were blacks. And during that time, we didn't know it in Chicago, but there were a lot of trucks that would deliver coal. And then those same trucks would come back and pick up trash. And to say, when we came to Indianapolis, I didn't know anything about an owl house. So that's a whole nother historical phenomenon. But I like your presentation. I like your impact of giving information. And I did not know you was on the marriage board for the police department.
I was 4 years.
Yeah, but I didn't. I wish I'd have known that we'd had you on the radio.
You can still have me on. You're a national historical figure, and that's not taking anything away from you. I mean, you are incredible.
No, we're gonna have to pull you on to bring. What year did you graduate from high school?
1985, early January.
Okay. All righty. And I say that because your part in your beginning, you opened, you said, I want you all to know things change. Things change. And when you were saying it, I said, well, he sounds like he's speaking from Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter.
Yes, sir.
And so, anyway, keep on doing your good, and we'll connect. I know how busy you all are in the ministry. It's a whole different story than it was back in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s.
Yes, sir.
It's totally different than the history of the movement. I don't call it civil rights. I always think about this, Pastor Jackson. I was in SNCC. We were asking for freedom and liberation.
Well, y'all were the radical side of that.
We called it a movement for freedom
Yeah.
and liberation, and the system turned around and gave it a title called civil rights. That's not what we're dealing with. But anyway, later on, but keep on doing a good job.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Okay, appreciate you all.
Thank you. All right. We got to take a quick break, y'all. We're going to wrap up the show here in just a few moments. Wish we had 2 hours. And speaking of SNCC and all of the groups that were working back then, you ought to go to YouTube and listen to and maybe we'll get some little pieces of that we'll put on next week, Lord willing, where Dr. Martin Luther King, one of them is called All Here and Now. All Here and Now. Suffice to say, what he was trying to say is that as Black people, we cannot keep allowing people to tell us to wait on what belongs to us now. And when you're talking about a $5 billion, some reports even say $9 billion in capital projects in the pipeline, office buildings, mixed-use developments, infrastructure, hotel, hospitality expansions, all of that in Indianapolis. Over the next several years, some millionaires with Black skin ought to be coming out of that. And I look forward to having dinner with you. We're back after these messages.
Get Up Church.
Best day ever.
On the next Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell.
Well, I hope you are enjoying your weekend. It's your girl, Erica Campbell.
Best weekend ever, and I'm Griff.
Listen, for Money Monday, Kim Fox Dunnigan will be in the Get Up Church, and we need you there, too.
That's our AI expert and other things. I'll have joys and concerns. Cheryl will tell us what's trending. And Erica, you just going to be full-blown Erica Monique.
Sure am. Join us, y'all. Faith walking.
Love talking.
Enjoy living on Get Up Mornings. Praise AM 1310 and 95.1 FM, Indy's Inspiration Station.
You want to move forward boldly? Then you've got to try new things. You didn't know you liked sushi until you tried it. Didn't know you loved that outfit until you tried it on. Didn't know that movie would be your favorite until you watched it. So how do you know you won't like riding the bus? You don't know what you like until you try it. Plan your ride with Indigo today at indigo.net. Indigo, boldly moving Indy forward for 50 years. That's indigo.net. Your ride starts here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to shine in Teal at the 6th Annual All Cancer Matters Ball, a night of hope, honor, and celebration. Join us on Saturday, October 18th at the Grand Ballroom, located at 5060 East 62nd Street. Doors open at 4:15 p.m. Guests will walk the red carpet, enjoy an elegant dinner, live music, and inspiring keynote address, an award ceremony, and a special memorial candle lighting vigil honoring loved ones. This year, we're going all out in Teal to raise awareness for ovarian cancer. Tickets available now at YourWorthFightingFor.org, with general admission $45 and VIP $65. Tickets will also be sold at the door. For more information or to purchase tickets by phone, please call 765-274-0291. That's 765-274-0291. Don't miss the 6th Annual Cancer Ball, Saturday, October 15th at 5060 East 62nd Street. You're worth fighting for, because every life is worth the fight.
right, welcome back. Shay is on the switches, y'all, and we couldn't do this without her. So kudos to Shay, and if y'all ever see her, tell her thank you. She's just awesome. All right, so $5 to $9 billion economic boom over the next few years. If we take the low side of that, 15%, that's where the minority-owned business, all that, the numbers and diversity studies they're doing on that found there was disparity study, and found that there are disparities in 2015. They're doing another disparity study, which is going to show that there are disparities. But if you take the 5 billion, I think that as black leaders should be advocating to double that number, because it's been down there around 13, 14, 15% for a long time. So when you're talking about $5 billion, that's $750 million that should go to minority-owned businesses. And what you cannot do is allow them to keep hem-hawing around and doing disparity studies while all this work is going on and the contracts are being secured. We got to make sure we're out there making sure black people. Now, I think it was Larry who talked about building the churches. Nothing wrong with having big churches. If people want to go, you got to have space. And sometimes, depending on who the pastor is, they'll attract more people than another pastor. We all have different assignments. Remember Jethro said, put some over 10, some over 50, some over 100, some over 1,000. So not every pastor is assigned to thousands of people. But when I built the church that I pastor, the erector crew was white, because I didn't know of a black-owned erector crew. But all the rest of it was minority, black and brown. And when we built our daycare, same thing. But the erector crew on the daycare was black. By that time, there was a black-owned erector crew for that size project. All I'm saying is we have to be engaged, y'all. Asking the question. Fall in love with the questions. Fall in love with the questions. Ask the question. That's how Jesus was so effective. Who do men say I am? Where is your husband? The whole city came out to see him because of that one question that the lady answered. Ask the questions. And when it comes to this kind of money, $5 to $9 billion, millionaires are going to come out of that. I saw a new concrete truck rolling down Washington Street. And then, and this is the truth, y'all, I looked over and saw an IMI truck. So the new concrete truck blew at the IMI truck, which did not respond. But and IMI's got some really wonderful trucks. But there was a new truck rolling down Washington Street. Is that black owned? Get used to asking that question. Don't be afraid to ask that question. There's nothing wrong with asking that question. Is it black owned? Can you find, when I was on the Board of Public Safety, that's the question that I asked as a board member. Is there a black owned contractor that can get this contract? And one time they told me no. I said, well, can it be contracted out anywhere in America? They said yes. So I called around. Ohio, we're centrally located, 12 states in the American Midwest region. And I found one. I said, I found a contractor. They were so mad at me, but it was too late. I had to get off. I got off that. I didn't have to get off, but I got off that board and went to the police merit board, which was a great experience too. Anyway, we're out of time, y'all. I'm in Facebook jail. So if you don't see me, you don't see my posts and stuff like that, I'm okay. It's just they have community standards, and I had people tagging and sharing so fast that the bots, BOTS, flagged my account and disabled it. So hopefully it gets back. But Monday we'll be on TikTok. You don't stop. We'll be back next Saturday, the Lord willing. Until then, all from all of us here at Praise Indy, we like you, we love you, and you make us smile. Have a good Saturday.